speaking of Republicans who once opposed Trump, now supporting him, he met with his former rival, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis yesterday. This seems sadly inevitable, although it's unclear how much campaigning DeSantis will actually do for Trump. Give us your sense here. Were you at all surprised by this? What does it tell you?
It's a little sad for Donald Trump, frankly, that he has to now go and pander to Ron DeSantis because his fundraising is so poor and he's wasting so much money. It's a normal sort of reconciliation you see in a campaign. Everybody tries to get together and support the nominee and use whatever resources they can. But I don't know that Ron DeSantis it feels like he owes anything to Donald Trump. The problem for Ron DeSantis is if he wants to have any future, he can't continue to be on the wrong side of Trump voters. And he got himself there towards the end of that campaign. I imagine Ron DeSantis is going to come around because he wants to be a good team player. But I think it's pretty sad that Donald Trump needs to make a journey down to DeSantis and suck up to him a bit here at the start of his general election campaign.
We'll see if Nikki Haley eventually comes around as well. It's certainly noteworthy that Republicans still voting for Haley in some of these primaries, even though she suspended her campaign long ago. Lastly, Brendan, let's just talk about where the 2024 race stands. There was a new CNN national poll over the weekend that got a lot of buzz that showed Trump up 6. That flies in the face of some other recent polling, which shows Biden with momentum in a really tight race. Where do you think things stand? And is it frankly just too early to care about these polls, or is it an important snapshot? What do you think?
I do think it's too early. I think what we've seen time and time again is this is going to be an extremely close race. And so when we do have little bursts one way or the other, the trends that take place just in a small state, we should pay attention to all of those things because any one state could potentially be the one that turns it. We are a extremely divided country. No one is ever going to have a significant lead, I don't think, for the rest of this campaign. Look at all of the trouble that Donald Trump has found himself in. This should be the moment where Joe Biden is able to surge, and he's just not. I think that should remind us that Joe Biden has a lot of problems himself, whether it's what's going on with Gaza or the economy or whatever it is. There should be, I think, some alarm bells that this is not a moment where he's able to separate. I think it just reinforces, though, that this is going to be tight every single step of the way, and every little thing matters.
Yeah, we'll see if any new polling that captures more of the time that Trump's been sitting in trial changed the race at all. But I suspect you're right. This is just going to stay close. MSNBC political analyst Brendan Buck, thank you as always. And